Welcome back to Westmoreland on the Gridiron. Sean Meyers now joined by the head coach of the Franklin Regional Panthers, Lance Getsy, after his team scored a lopsided victory, 55-7 against previously undefeated Shaler area. And first off, Coach, congratulations. That was a statement win, it felt like. Not only did you beat Shaler, but you really blew them out of the water, a team that had been terrific to this point of the season. Did the outcome even surprise you?
Yeah, of course, we didn't expect to have that lopsided of a victory, but we also knew that if we played our game and took care of the ball and didn't give up big plays, that we could play with anybody.
It's always interesting to see how teams approach a non-conference game after they've already opened conference play, which is what you did against Gateway the week before. Now, I know Shaler has obviously a great resume coming in, and there's probably some motivation to hand them their first loss. But how did you, and more importantly, how did the players approach that non-conference game?
Just like any other game, I think that kids only have 10 opportunities a year to play football that are guaranteed. Any extras has to be earned. So, anybody that's healthy plays. That's how I've always approached it, and that's how I'll continue to approach every non-conference game.
Was there a point in the game, a turning point, or even maybe a sequence where you kind of realized my team is locked in and this one could really turn out in our favor?
Yeah, I think offensively, having the ball 4 times in a row, scoring 4 times, a lot of positive plays on all 4 drives. And then, defensively, what I really liked was their first drive. We were misaligned. They got a big one on us and were able to score in a long play. And in weeks past, that turned into another one the next drive. But our defense really responded. They talked things out, communicated well, and were able to, handle them a lot better and not give up any more big plays.
Well, talking about your defense, very impressive that you're able to really keep their quarterback, Keegan Smetank, under wraps. He had been one of the most prolific passers in the entire district and has a lot of experience. What challenge is it for you and your defense to go against a quarterback like that, and how did your players respond to that challenge?
Well, I mean, is it another week? I mean, that's 2 weeks in a row that we play one of the top quarterbacks, and I think that the week before, we didn't respond as well in the second half to Gateway and how, they were throwing the ball on us. Even though I felt like we fought that game and it was a lot better than what the score indicated, but it's just a challenge. I think we challenge our kids to be able to, control the ball, ball security for sure with the turnovers and not give up the big plays in the passing game. It's something we emphasized all week and we worked on all week. I even got out there to play a little bit of quarterback for our kids during that week in some passing situations. So they really worked and it was a focal point all week.
How'd the shoulder hold up? Did you have to ice it down a bit afterwards?
No, the shoulder is usually okay. It's the foot that doesn't work that much.
Gotcha. So you talked about Gateway, and there's no doubt that that was a big game, and that was kind of a statement win that your team had last year when you knocked off the Gators. They got a little bit of revenge with a terrific second half. How important was it for your team to bounce back and show their mental fortitude after that loss?
Our kids are very strong-willed and minded kids, but I think it was important just, to roll into a stretch of conference games with a big win. That Gateway game was disappointing. We felt like, we played a great game. We just had to control the ball, hold on to the ball. 4 turnovers can't happen week after week. And I think that has been something that we've been doing since week 0 against TJ. And we have to eliminate that. And we finally did this weekend. And you see the results whenever you don't turn the ball over.
Well, let's talk about some of the players who have really come on as this season has gone along. I think offensively, Aiden Hudock is a guy who made a name for himself the last couple of years, but a new quarterback and a new primary running back, both of whom seemingly have gotten a lot better as the season has gone along, especially Chase Lemke. Seemed like he had somewhat of a breakthrough performance. How has he gotten better, and how has his offense improved?
Well, Chase, I think, needed game experience. It's different Friday nights under the lights against, quality teams that we've been playing. So he needed that experience. That's why I really wanted a week 0 game this year for him to get settled in. He's definitely grown into understanding the offense, what the offense is supposed to look like with the different motions, different formations, and really starting to be able to get our guys aligned and see what the defense is doing. And that takes time And he's definitely a smart kid that's starting to get it.
Seems like Kyle DePill similarly has made some great strides, and he's put up some big numbers this year. What are his best attributes?
Kyle just sees the field. He has great vision. And I think his counterpart, Drew Gentile, is helped him with being able to, just interchange whoever's fresh gets to go in there. It's almost like I even allow them to, dictate who's going to be in. I could call any play with either one, but what Kyle does is he always falls forward. He sees the hole, and he's just a tough kid to tackle.
I know that a lot of love and publicity goes towards the offensive players, the skill guys, but your defense, especially your linebackers, have gotten some attention. Owen Sinclair, and it seems like Austin Kearns is a guy who has really kind of emerged as one of the better defensive players in Westmoreland County. How strong has that group been, and what do you enjoy most about watching them?
Those two, there's their third year starting at linebacker, and you don't find that too often in high school football. And I think just understanding the defense, the schemes that we put in place week to week, and being able to get everybody up front line. And I think they owe a lot of their success to what guys up in front are doing, holding off blocks, keeping guys off of them. But, they're really excelling, and I think they're just playing fast football. They're getting to the ball, and when they get there, they bring a load.
So now you get back to conference play after that big win against Shaler area, and you're going against Plum, a team that I think a lot of people expected would be very competitive this year, but they're coming off of a couple of tough losses, including a heartbreaker a couple weeks ago against Norwin. When you look at the Mustangs, what's the first thing that jumps out?
Their efforts, their fight. I think they get a lot of push. Those kids they like to hit. They're very physical. They have some speed. They have a little bit of everything that you have to watch. You can't just zone in on one thing. I think their quarterback's back again. I think he's a tough kid who could run the ball. He has a strong arm. They have some guys that could stretch the field, but their run game, their running back is a very strong runner.
Matt Morgan has been their coach for over a decade now, very accomplished, guiding Plum. While the faces might change from year to year, and I know they do return many key players from last year, is there anything particular about his system and his style of play that you notice year in and year out?
Just the physicality. I think he always has his kids prepared to play on Friday nights. They all, I guess Franklin Regional and Plum has been a rivalry for years and years. So I think those guys are always ready to play. It doesn't, you could throw the records out. Those teams go to battle every year. Even when Coach Wada was here, it's always a game.
Yeah, I could speak to that firsthand. A 2003 graduate of Plum, and I remember the big games against Franklin Regional during my time there as well. Biggest keys to have success against the Mustangs?
Ball security. Don't give up the big plays. Those are the keys. We have got to control that ball, hold on to it, always fall forward. I think first down is always a big play for us offensively, making sure that we get positive yards to put us in good position to move the sticks. And defensively, we have got to keep them from making big plays. They have some explosive players. So if we could keep them and make them have to take long drives, I think we'll be okay.
Of course, I know every coach and every team has to approach the game as though the one in front of you is the only one that really matters. But I think it's pretty clear that with only 2 spots in the postseason guaranteed, that your team's going to have to make a run now with 4 conference games remaining. Is it fair to say that every single game you have to play as though your playoff lives depend on it from here on out?
Yeah, we talked about that today in the locker room. This is a playoff week. Every game is a playoff game. So that's how we're approaching every game and every practice to prepare. And I liked our preparation last week. I think our kids saw the results from preparing that way, and hopefully we can continue that.
Lastly, I know 2022 was a pretty special year because you got that conference title. You got back to the playoffs. I know we're only halfway through this season, but what is special about this year's team in your eyes?
It's just, I guess, the family atmosphere that we have with the kids. I think these kids work so hard, and just it's fun being around them. I think on a practice field today just was a learning day. We did a little bit of work on the field, but when we come together, those kids were working and having fun, and the coaches love interacting with them, and that's what's special to me.
Well, Lance, hopefully have some fun on Friday night and for the rest of the season as well. Thank you so much for doing this.
No problem. Thank you. I appreciate it.
That is Lance Getsy, the head coach of the Franklin Regional Panthers. We'll take a quick break and continue right here on Westmoreland on the Gridiron.